lot of features.
How would you describe the sound of the Minds of Soul? Quick, you answer that.
Minds of Soul, I mean, it's kind of hard to just be like, because you know, when you're trying to come up with a sound or you're trying to do anything, you don't necessarily be like, all right, this is what I'm going after. But it was more or less like something of, I can speak on how other people define the sound. Like, we always had like a real dark sound. It was always grimy. You know, we always had like mad influences. You know what I'm saying? We always was influenced by like the Wu-Tang. We was influenced by the boot camp, stuff like that. So our sound is, I would say that it's mad dark. You know, we always had like that boom back, you know, that kick, that snare, that hitter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I first started out, I was working with the ASR 10, which was, I got it like the month after it came out. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of cats is talking about that's a classic machine. I've been working with the ASR 10 since February. It came out in like January or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And the sound is always dark, you know. We always had samples cut up, you know, to the point where we never necessarily really used a lot of samples, but it was always something that we was kind of like, we would just cut it up and then manipulate it in certain ways to make it sound original or something like that.
And just to feed off of that, I mean, like the sound, to me, the sound was always something like, it was underground, but it was also hip-hop, but it could also be mainstream too, you know what I mean? So like, I think us as a group, like we had the ability to hit various different levels in the music game, you know what I mean? So if we needed to be on that underground level, we could be there. If we needed to be a little mainstream, we could be there. Basically, it was all about us thinking that our sound could sell units and push units. And the sound was good, you know what I mean?
Yeah, as far as the sound goes, as far as MC-wise, it was like, you know, niggas used to always just bounce off of each other, like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like, you know, you have like G, who shit was more or less like on some like more smoothed out, highly sophisticated, and then you had a Hawk who shit was more or less like on some everyday, just hit you on, and totally in that contrast, you know? Like when you're dealing with a certain sound, you want to have like a contrast, you know what I mean? You want that yin and that yang, and you know, these two cats right here, they had that sound that just kind of like meshed together.
Yeah, and Court was Court is the centerpiece of that whole situation, you know what I mean? So, and the only reason that happened is because of the beats, you know what I mean, the production, you know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as you heard something, or as soon as I heard something, if I liked it, I automatically knew that Hawk liked it, you know what I mean? It wasn't too many tracks or too many things that we listened to or recorded off of that we ain't vibe to.
Yeah, I can't even really think of, I can't think of a beat that we got and either I was just like crazy about it and he wasn't, or vice versa, or it normally was just like, you know what I'm saying?
It was definitely a different sound, and I'm going to go out on a ledge and say it's a Philly sound, but you got a lot of artists out there, especially at that time, where they could only hit one market, you know what I mean? Like, going back to what I was saying, they could only be underground or they could only be mainstream, you feel me? So the Minds of Soul was all over the place, not on the unorganized shit, but just all over the place where we could dab in this, dab in that, and we were just looking for the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to make a little noise, trying to, you know what I mean? Like, we're all not only artists, but like, I like to write, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? I've always liked to write, whether it was music, poetry, stories, whatever it may be. So, you know, that just lets other people build off of what you're doing. So for instance, you got Court with some ill-ass beats, you got Hot with some, you know what I'm saying, some ill-ass rhymes, you got me with some ill-ass rhymes, you put that shit together, you know what I mean, you got the Minds of Soul right there.
Yeah, true that.
You got the Minds of Soul, like it, and even if niggas, you know what I'm saying, like even to this day I run into cats and they talk about, y'all heard of the Minds of Soul, you know, we're talking 10, 12, 13 years later.
Basically what we were doing, we was just making shit that sound good to us and shit.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, we wasn't even dealing with like nobody to fuck us. Like, not, you know, it wasn't even like, it wasn't even that we really gave a fuck. It was just that we was just doing us. And by us doing us, we stayed true to ourselves. We wasn't chasing what was going on or whatever. We was just MCs that was on their thing, as far as just doing what they do. Somebody pick up.
Shout out to Big Spence too, Big Spawn. He was definitely
What up?
part
What
of
up? What up? Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, it was a lot of
He was like
a
the
lot of
ghost. He was like
situations.
the fourth member or whatever like that. Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Big up the Spawn, yeah, man.